Hi guys, this is Sabine from Zennumerostar.com, and today's video is a request. The question was, can you make a video about what to do if we react to our 3D, especially with cutting off the person because we were triggered? So this is what we're going to talk to you about today. So thank you very much for your patience, guys, because I haven't been releasing any videos for a while because I was taking a break. I was on holiday. I've been working quite a lot, so I needed to rest, and I was in Spain for a while, for a few weeks. Okay, but now I'm back, and I'm very happy to answer your requests. So let's talk about your 3D first. I mean, this shouldn't come as a surprise, but your 3D is only the reflection of your past feelings, past thoughts, and sometimes still your current feelings and thoughts. So basically, when you are being triggered, when you are reacting to what your 3D shows you, you are merely having a reaction about your own thoughts and your own feelings and resisting what you've been feeling, being angry about what you've been feeling and thinking about for a while. You might be thinking right now, but I got the opposite of what I wanted, and I got triggered because it was a bad situation. I had to cut off my person because I was triggered by their reaction or by what they said or did or whatever. So how come I am being triggered about my own thoughts and feelings? Doesn't make any sense. But in very simple words, your 3D is only the reflection of what you have been fearing for a while. So where your focus has been for a while, either in fear mode or in love mode. And if you're being triggered, that's because you feared about a scenario coming up or unfolding in your reality. So that would be the basic explanation. But now that you understand that perfectly, what can you do to stop being triggered and to change your 3D from showing you what you don't want? First, you need to decide that your 3D is not to your liking, and therefore that you need to have closure on your current reality. So how do you go about that? Well, you have closure by having an emotional purge. So I have explained already how to do it exactly, so only to purge the emotion and not the situation, obviously. Once this is done, you should be able to distance yourself and not be as clingy as you were before, because just a little reminder here that if you're feeling obsessed about your SP, for instance, that is not what is the problem. The problem is not your obsessive thoughts. The problem is what you think about. If you praise your SP in your mind, if you think that your SP is all over you and he loves you or they love you unconditionally speaking and vice versa, I mean, you can think about them all the time. It won't matter because the outcome will always be positive. But if you are obsessed and having negative thoughts, that's when there is a problem. So after you have broken up with the current version of yourself lacking the SP, and when you have broken up with the version of themselves not being present and not showing up exactly as you want, then you are encouraged to write a very specific scenario about the two of you together, to give yourself the role that you want, to give them the role that you want them to have. Give yourself a great role, but give them a great role as well. And from then on, you should see a change. Unless you go back to your 3D reality and you get over analytical about what you see, what you hear, not realizing or even as being conscious that this is not the way to go. So remember, guys, that your mind, your brain doesn't understand, doesn't decipher between what is real or imagined. In other words, instead of focusing on what is real, if that reality is not to your choosing, focus back on what you imagine and make it true to yourself by adding elements that have either already happened or that you know can happen, and motivate them with something that you can validate in your inner being. I'll give you a brief example. For instance, I worked a lot on my inner concept, and instead of trying to convince myself that I was a good person, I justified being a good person because I had done this or that in the past. And that's the way I have built up my identity, if you want. So there you have it. I hope I have answered your question precisely. So first thing you need to do, you break from your current reality by rejecting your current scenario because you have been only reacting to your 3D. So you have closure on your present reality. Then you build a proper scenario of your choosing. And the last step is that whenever you think about what you want, you make sure that you don't fall back into the trap of reacting again to your 3D and to your past emotions and thoughts. So those would be my 3 very simple basic steps to follow. I've done it successfully, and if I could, knowing that I came from really far, you can do it as well. Just don't think it's difficult or it's going to create resistance for you. Just simply follow the steps and you should see a change very quickly indeed. Thank you for listening to this video. Please keep the questions coming. As usual, as you know, I do believe in you. I know that you can do it. And on that happy note, happy manifesting.